Hello my dear students. So I welcome back to NEET World. So in this session we will be discussing NSE JS chemistry questions from 2024 paper. So I hope all these students who are preparing for Olympiads are following our channel, and this is our first session on this NSE JS chemistry question paper for 2024 paper. Right now? Yes. So I hope your preparation is going well. Along with your boards, you have to manage this Olympiad preparation. Okay, so let's begin this session with first question. Here we have from mole concept. So look at here, how many moles of the so-called electron gas weighs 1 kilogram. So this is a question from NSE JS 2024 paper. Okay, so tell me what is a suitable answer for this. It's very easy. So just look at here, we know 1 mole of any substance contain what? So 1 mole of any substance if I say, so you should say it contains Avogadro number of particles, right now. So here they mentioned 1 mole of electrons, it means Avogadro number of electrons we have in this given substance if I say. Okay, so let's understand the concept first, then we'll solve this question. See how many moles of so-called electron gas weighs 1 kilogram they are asking. 1 mole of electron if I say, it contains Avogadro number of electrons. We know 1 electron weight is how much? 1 electron weight is 9.1 into 10 power minus 31 kg, right now. So this is the mass of 1 electron. So here 1 mole electron if I say, Avogadro number you take 6.022 into 10 power 23 gas electrons, okay, into each electron is having 9.11 into 10 power minus 31 kg, right now. Yes, okay, so this is the mass of 1 mole of electrons. This is the mass of 1 mole of electrons. They are saying in 1 kg, how many moles we have. So in 1 kg, let us say x moles of electrons we have. Just to find the value of x, that will be your answer. Just use the unitary method. So tell me, so just multiply x into this number and 1 mole into this number. So what you are going to get? So 6.022 into 10 power 23 into 9.11 into 10 power minus 31 kg will be equals to 1 mole into 1 kg, right now. So kg is removed. So I just want this x. So what I told you, this number into x now. Yeah, use the unitary method so that your x will be 1 by 6.022 into 9.11 into 10 power minus 31 plus 23. How much it is? Minus 8 I can write. Yes. So moles we have. So write it moles. So here I can write this as per the given options. I can write this in the numerator as 10 power 8. That is also written as 100 into 10 power 6 by 6.022 into 9.11. So just look at the options. Do we have this kind of option? Yes. Or option B is absolutely like this now. So the suitable answer for this question will be option B. Hope this is clear right now. Yeah. So now I just want to ask you one very basic question related to this concept. Okay, so just tell me, answer in the comment box, in the chat box. So just answer this question. How many electrons are present in 0.009 grams of water? So just answer this question in the chat box, in the comment box. I will be looking into it and I will be checking whether you are able to do this properly or not. Okay, so just give a try. If you are doing any mistake, I will be helping you. Okay, so just respond in the chat box once after having a clarity over this topic that we have discussed. Okay, next let us move for one more question here. So see here we have one more easy question, but you need to know the concept involved in this question, that's it. So you can able to solve this kind of questions very easily. Look at here. The expected values of normal boiling point of two compounds A, B are given below as TA and TB. So TA, TB represents what? Boiling points of A, B respectively. And see, this is the NSEJS 2024 question again. Okay. So next, how can we solve this kind of question? See, we have ethene, dichloroethene, 1,2 dichloroethene. So now we know each carbon here is sp2 hybridized. If it is sp2 hybridized carbon, so it will be having trigonal planar geometry, right now. So trigonal planar means molecule will be within the plane because both carbons are attached with a double bond. So it will be having a planar geometry like this. Now I can place chlorine atoms either of same side, right now. So either of same side, like chlorine here and hydrogen here and here. Right now, so chlorines are lying same side. So these kind of compounds in alkenes, same groups present on the same side of double bond are called cis alkenes. Okay, if they are present opposite side, like chlorine here, exactly opposite here chlorine, and hydrogen here and here. So how they are? Hydrogen, same groups are present opposite side, right now, opposite sides of carbon atoms in these alkenes. So this should be called as trans alkene. This is cis alkene. Okay, these are two molecules having same molecular formula but different arrangement in the spatial arrangement of atoms. Right now they are differ in the spatial arrangement of atoms. Here the atoms, same type of atoms are arranged same side of double bonds, but here opposite side. Same side cis, opposite side trans. That's it. This is what you should remember here. Now how can you solve this? So in order to answer this boiling point, you need to know what is the polarity exist, what type of polarity exists in this compound. So look at here, we have chlorine atom is more electronegative right now when we compare with carbon and hydrogens right now. Therefore polarity of bond will be towards this chlorine like this. Right now the bond polarity is towards chlorine because chlorine is more electronegative, so it will create partial negative charge and hydrogen carbons will be having partial positive charge. Here also towards chlorine, right now partial negative charge on chlorine and positive charge on carbon. Like this, the polarity is upwards. Even carbon and hydrogen, if I say carbon is having more electronegativity right now, so therefore polarity is above side. Overall polarity will be above side right now. But here if you see chlorine is more electronegative, right? So this will be like this and here also like this. But see how these dipoles are arranged, they are exactly opposite to each other now. So it means what happens to its dipole moment, they will cancel out each other right now. So overall molecule become zero dipole moment. I can say non-polar it will become. So I can say here it is mu is equals to 0. What is mu here? Dipole moment is 0 here and dipole moment is not 0 here, not equals to 0. So therefore this molecule is considered as polar molecule and it is not. Okay, so now here due to polarities, now what happens? Molecules between the cis 1,2 dichloroethane molecules, there will be interactions, intermolecular force of attractions will be there. So that holds them very strong right now. So therefore their boiling point increases. What do we mean by boiling point? Conversion of liquid to gas right now. So it means in the liquid state, these molecules due to their polarities between the molecules we have interactions, intermolecular force of attraction. So in order to separate them, it requires high amount of energy. Therefore boiling point of cis molecule, cis isomers are more than this trans due to polarity in the cis compound and not in the trans compound. Okay, so therefore TA will be more than TB. So option number C will be our correct answer for this question. Hope this is clear. So what you can remember, boiling point of cis isomers are more than trans. Very basic, based on very basic statement you have a question here. So you don't need to waste the time also. Just to give complete clarity over this concept, I have taken this much time. Okay, so now one more thing, they may also ask melting point. So what about melting point order? See, melting point means it is discussed in the solids, right now. So in the solids, the particles, the molecules should be arranged very closely, right now. So it means the particles, arrangement of particles are very close. Now tell me, the close arrangement is possible in which case, here or here? See, this is something like this, chlorine, chlorine, like this, and this is something like this, chlorine and chlorine. So look at here, since they have like this, the packing of these molecules will be very close, therefore close packing of this isomer makes it to have more melting point. So when they ask for melting point, order will be reversed. Trans isomer will be having more melting point than this cis. This is based on what? Close packing of structure. Okay, remember these two things. Hope it is clear. Okay, dipole moment mu is clear. Mu for cis, dipole moment cis is more than trans. Based on this more dipole moment, more is the boiling point, you should say. Okay, hope everything is clear regarding this question and also related question. Now based on this, I just wanted to know answer for this very basic question. See, I am giving 1, 2 dimethyl groups either in the cis form and in the trans form. Okay, trans form. So just try to answer this question. Let us say this is cis A and trans as B, trans isomer as B. Now what are the orders for their mu, boiling point and melting point? I am expecting answer for this particular question in the chat box or in the comment box from your side. Hope the concept is clear. I know you can easily solve this question. Anyways, whether it is correct or not, just give an attempt. Try to express your answer in the comment box. I will be looking into it. Okay. Next question here we have is, here the third question. Which are the following group 13? Okay, we have pair of elements from group 13 represent the most stable oxidation states. So tell me, how can we answer? See, what are the group 13 elements? Boron, aluminium, gallium, indium, thallium, right now. So these are the elements. Look at here. Okay, so now they are asking stable, most stable oxidation state. See, what is the general electronic configuration of these 13th group elements? Just remember, I am saying 13 now, so 10 plus 3. Okay, so 3 are the valency electrons of this 13th group element. So what is the general electronic configuration? NS2, NP1 is the general electronic configuration of this 13th group elements. Okay, so it means these are the 3 electrons can participate in the chemical reactions, during any chemical reaction. Either this 1 electron may participate or all 3 electrons may participate. If only 1 electron is participated, for example, sometimes it can form a compound like MOH type of compound. In this case, only 1 electron of this central atom, let M consider as one of this element. Okay, so something like thallium hydroxide like element. Okay, so in this case, what is the oxidation state? It has +1 for thallium. So therefore I can say only 1 electron is involved in the combination, so +1. If all 3 electrons are participated, something like M2O3 type, like B2O3 is the best example I can say. Okay, in this case, boron having +3 oxidation state, it means all these 3 electrons are participated, +3 electrons, okay, are participated in the reaction. Okay, so now these are the 2 possible oxidation states. Now tell me, what happens to this oxidation state down the group if we go? See, so what we are going to write the general electronic configuration for this: 2s2 2p1, this is 3s2 3p1, for this 4s2 4p1. Like that, if you keep on writing for indium 5s2 5p1, and for this 6s2 6p1. Okay, so down the group what happens? So in this, at the second number n equals to 2, we do not have d orbital, so there is nothing like 2d, right? So there is no presence of d orbital. But as we go down, what we can see here, we can see 3d orbital electrons. Okay, and if we go down here, we have 4d electrons, and what we can expect, 4f orbitals also entering. So here we have 4f I mean 5F here because fifth level I am saying, and 5D, like this we have now. So what happens here is, due to presence of F electrons as well as D electrons. So what we know, the shielding capacity, we need to study a concept called inert pair effect here. What is this inert pair effect? So just write the heading as inert pair effect so that it will become more clear about this concept. Okay. So now look at this, I can say answer whatever I know, based on that I can directly say, but I just wanted to make you feel clear with the concept first. So write inert pair effect. Inert pair effect. So what exactly it is? The inertness or reluctance of ns pair electrons to take part in bond formation. It means what? The ns electrons are there now, this ns electrons are there now, so they will not show activeness, they won't participate in chemical reactions actively, or I can say they have inertness to form participate in the chemical reactions. So what happens is, down the group if we go, due to poor shielding of f orbital electrons and d orbital electrons, the inertness or the tendency to participate in the chemical reactions by these ns pair electrons is very less. I mean, they won't show they won't show the character of participating in chemical reactions. Okay, so these electrons are strongly bind to the nucleus of that atom. So what is mean by inert pair effect? So due to more effective charge, more nuclear charge, as atomic number increases now down the group, so as atomic number increases, nuclear forces increases. In the shells, electrons are also increases, but due to poor shielding of f and d orbital electrons, the nuclear forces will act on the nth level electrons. It means this ns and np electrons. Therefore, ns electrons are strongly bind to the nucleus. Therefore, they won't show like capacity, or they won't show, or they won't actively participate in the chemical reactions. Okay, I can say they will show inertness to participate in the chemical reaction. Okay, only np electrons will take part in the chemical reactions. So as we down the group, what happens to inert pair effect? Inert pair effect increases. Right now, it means down the group elements +1 oxidation state stability is more when we compare with the +3. So thallium can show +1 oxidation state as most stable oxidation state, because it has more or maximum inertness in the respective group elements. Okay, so now down the group inert pair effect increases now. So boron can have +3 oxidation state. Why? Because there is no d and f electrons. Therefore, only s and p electrons are there. ns and np, 2s and 2p electrons are only there. They can easily participate in reaction. But for thallium, due to presence of d electrons and f electrons, which show very less shielding effect, or poor shielding or poor screening, nuclear forces acts on ns electrons that will be strongly hold to the nucleus. Therefore, they won't participate in chemical reactions. Only np electrons participate. Therefore, it will be showing +1 oxidation state. Down the group, lower oxidation stability increases and higher oxidation stability decreases. So down the group, thallium will be having +1 oxidation state as stable, and for boron +3 oxidation state as stable. So I can write boron +3 is more stable than aluminium +3, and then gallium +3, something like this. Okay. Then next, if specifically I mention inert pair effect, gallium +3 is more stable than indium +3 and thallium +3, like this. And for +1 oxidation state, I should write Tl +1 is more stable than N, like this, indium +1 and Ga +1. Okay, hope concept of inert pair effect is clear. Now always remember, thallium +1 oxidation state compounds are more stable when we compare with the +3 oxidation state compounds. Okay, so now what is the answer for this question? Boron +3, thallium +1. So this will be your perfect answer for this question. Hope it is clear right now. Yes. Okay, so now I just wanted to know few answers from your side. So let me give you that question, and I am expecting answer for this from your side. So I have something like Ti, OH type compound, and I have one more compound H3 Ti O3. Okay, so now tell me what is the stability, which compound is more stable, first option or second option. Okay, based on inert pair effect, you should answer me for this particular question in the comment box. So thank you for watching all three questions. One is from physical, other one is from organic, other one is from inorganic. I have covered three questions from different parts of chemistry. I hope everything is clear. Okay, so if these are clear, and you can feel free to express your feedback in the chat box. Okay, so let's continue this session in the upcoming days. Thank you. Stay connected with us.